All right, let's see if I remember how to do this. So I hope you guys are doing fantastic. And I had a lot of plans this month for YouTube content. Life said no. This month has been incredibly... so many things that could go wrong have gone wrong. We'll start out with my pickup truck. It's gonna sound like a country song here, but my truck was making really bad noises, and so I was looking into it. I had it up on some ramps. I took the CV axles out of the front. It's a 4-wheel drive. I wanted to see if it was those that were gone. Drove around and the noise was still there. After a whole bunch of testing this and that and eliminating different parts of the drivetrain, I figured out it was the transfer case. And while I was putting the CV axles back in, I had it booked in to get a new transfer case put in. I was literally tightening up the wheels, and all of a sudden water starts coming out of the roof of the shop. Now previously that week I had 3 plumbers here for 6 hours trying to get our boiler unit working in here. They didn't have any success. They couldn't figure out what was going on with it, but they had charged all the lines, and then it got cold, and with the lack of insulation on the heating lines, it broke open. And so I've got like a fan blower on this side of the shop, a fan blower at the back, and it just started leaking down while I was working on my truck. So I shut the water off, drained the whole system. I go inside the shower, and the boiler system in the house isn't working. I don't know what happened. I ended up spending about 4 hours that night. I had a whole bunch of air in the system, so I was getting airlocks. I'm not sure why. Still working on that problem. And but I did slowly start to get the shop figured out. I had some plumbers in here again about a week later. One guy's here for like 6 hours, couldn't figure it out. And I thought, you know what, this is silly. So I started isolating every system, and I'll kind of show you where we're at. I did a few stories on my Instagram. Now I ended up finding this tool in the back of the shop. This is actually my dad's, an infrared camera. This one in particular, this is about a $7,000 tool, but it has come in so handy. Let me show you. So in previous videos I showed you our boiler room, and this is it. And I added some valves that add water and stuff like that. I've done a bunch of work to it. It's working pretty good now. I do have some zones that are bad. So this red line here, as soon as I open it up, water just starts flowing outside. And I've got right now these 2 zones. I'll show you with the infrared camera where those are. And what I'm doing is basically I'm firing them up and giving them like a week on each zone. And it's heating the shop really well. It is nice in here. But that way I can verify that I have all the air out of the lines. And I also came in, I'd opened them all up when I thought I had everything figured out. And I came in on a Sunday morning and there's no water in the system. And there's a whole bunch of water on the floor over there. But if you look at this infrared camera, you can see how it shows you where the lines are in the concrete. So that way I know which zone is activated. So right now I've got the front half of this shop. About half of the zones are in, and they're working fantastic. We're at like 3 days on this zone. And then at the front of the shop, that's a single zone that's been going for over a week. So I'm pretty happy with that progress, and this tool, just phenomenal. And like it makes troubleshooting so handy. Also, if I ever want to bolt anything down, I can just turn on the lines and I'll see where the lines are, and I can mark my holes so I don't puncture any of those. Also, we are in the middle of our Christmas Etsy rush with signs. One thing that's made this year a little bit difficult is that my oldest is in college now. He's going for commercial aviation, and before he would work like 6 to 8 hours a day for us, and that's not happening, so now it's a lot more work for us. But you can see right here, this is where the water came out. So this zone here is probably shot, and I don't know whether both lines come along the wall and then go out, or if this is just one zone. So I'm gonna give this zone here about another week, and then once I have verified that everything's good and running properly, then I'll open up another zone. We have the office heat going, so it's got tubes going in, it's got radiant baseboard heaters, that's working fantastic. Another thing that happened during this month is my air compressor died, and I don't know what it was. I was trying to blow out our irrigation lines, and I think I was just cycling it too much. I mean, this thing is pretty old anyways. I've welded up holes in it. And so I actually went to my wonderful sponsor, Princess Auto, and I picked up this new bad boy here, an 80-gallon 2-stage air compressor. But I haven't had a chance to hook it up yet. Basically, all I need to do is put in an extension cord, wire in a cord for it, and this will be good to go. Another thing that broke, and this was a critical thing, is my drum sander. So this is my fantastic little drum sander, and the belt, the drive belt, just stopped working. And so I looked into it, and sure enough, this little gear right here, I'm not sure how well you can see it, but those teeth are all mangled over. And so this thing went down. Again, this time of year, I really can't go without a drum sander, so I ended up picking up a new one, a Supermax 1632. This thing's been good. I've had it for like a week. Luckily, with my old drum sander, I think I was 3 weeks out from the 3-year warranty being expired. So there's a new motor coming for that. The motor itself was $600, and I thought, man, that seems like a lot of money just for that. So once that comes in, I'll have 2 drum sanders, which will be handy because then we can have 2 people drum sanding. But yeah, I have had ideas for videos. I've had a couple videos I've really wanted to do. But I tell you what, this month has just been crazy. Oh, another thing, the front door of the house. It just broke, like it just stopped actuating the little bolt in there. I took it apart and it's gone. Like it fell out of the shop somehow. And we were stuck in our house. For a day or two, we had to use the garage door, which isn't the greatest. And all these problems this time of year are compounded because every night I'm working till about 9 o'clock, so about from 7 or 8 in the morning till 9 o'clock at night. And there's just no time for anything else. So I looked at my watch and I was like, oh, this is the last day of November and I need to do a video for my sponsor, Princess Auto. I've been to Princess Auto. I usually go there about once a week for various things, accoutrements, but I picked up that air compressor last Saturday night, so I'm super excited about that, get that fired up. And it kind of got me to thinking about this YouTube channel. And, you know, it's probably a couple years ago, I did a video whether I should start a second channel or not, you know, and do most all my other vlogs and things there, bicycle content. And I decided I was going to make the switch, and I was going to keep this channel, Simple Little Life, strictly for mostly knife making. And it's been very difficult. There's a lot of things I want to film, but I'm like, eh. And after doing some contemplation, I think I'm just going to go back to the way that I used to do my YouTube when I loved doing the YouTube. And so this channel, still we'll do some knife projects. I've got 2 knives I'm working on right now. But it's going to be more than just that. It's going to be a lot of making. I mean, I've got this amazing shop, and I'm getting it well tooled, well set up, all kinds of stuff. And the potential of things that we can build here is just incredible. And so I'm really going to start leaning into that. As well as with this new property that we have, there's a lot more opportunity to be a little bit more self-sufficient. The soil here is phenomenal. The soil at our old house, we had a hard time getting things to grow, and it's just, you know, some soil's great, some's not. This soil is phenomenal. I mean, beside the shop here, I've got rows of Saskatoon bushes. I think I'm going to plant a little orchard in there. We're going to get our garden a little bigger than it is now, and I might even get back into having some animals that we can raise our own meat. My wife was in the grocery store the other day, and like there's no produce. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just that particular store. She didn't go check out the other ones, but you know, with all this stuff that's happening in the world and supply chains and this and that, I mean, I think a lot of us have really kind of seen the virtue in being able to look after more things yourself. And so I'm going to start documenting a lot more of all that stuff on this channel. Obviously, it'll be happening after the Christmas rush because we're just so busy right now, but I just wanted to take a minute to let you guys know where we're at. Things are going fantastic. Like, life is great, but you know what I think the problem is that this house that we moved to now was built in 1994. And for the last 15 years, well, the last 20 years, it was just my mom and my dad that lived there. And I'd say for the last 15 years, they didn't live there much. I'm guessing, like, generously, it'd be like 2 to 3 months out of the year. They have a house in Phoenix, and then they travel a lot. And so if you go from a house having 2 people in it, like 2 to 3 months a year, you move a family of 6 in there, well, 5 of us now because my oldest is in college, but for the whole summer is all 6 of us, and we're here full time all the time. And I think a lot of the systems in the house, we're just taxing them like crazy. They're not used to running at this capacity. You know, your hot water tank and the water system and the well and all of these things. It's just like, even right now, I'm not sure why, but our shower in the master bedroom, the pipes are frozen. Like, it's minus 20 outside, and we just have no water in there. So it is, there's been times when I've like really questioned whether we should have moved here. And to tell you the truth, there's been a fair bit of cursing. I've been pretty frustrated, especially the fact, like, okay, I'll finish signs up, and I'm like, yes, I'm done early tonight, it's 8 o'clock. And then I go in the house, it's like, oh, I can't have a shower because we have no hot water. And so I've got to mess around with the boiler system, bypass this, bypass that, try to get things working, try to get some hot water going, and then often I'd have to do it the next day. So I'm getting a great education in hot water systems and boiler systems. We did a little bit of this in my millwright school, but not a lot. But the one good thing with water is that it always chooses the path of least resistance. So knowing that, I can manipulate valves and force all the water into the hot water heater. It takes the boiler water, runs it through the water tank, so it's not propane or electric. It heats the water that way. And so right now what I'm having to do is just bypass the floor circuits, heat up the water so we can shower, and then switch everything back. I've been doing a lot of research, watching a lot of YouTube videos, and I think I'm going to reconfigure that entire system. Again, that'll be like in the new year once I have a little bit more time. But I hope you guys are doing really well. And I've had a few people asking how things are going out here, and good. They're going good. You know, it would be wrong for me to complain. And yes, there's a lot of trials that we're going through and things that are really pushing me and testing me. But ultimately, those are the things that build memories. You remember the hard, difficult things in life more than just the easy things. But I'm learning a lot too, and I'm really enjoying it. And so it's making me more well-rounded. I've adopted a new mentality here, is that I need to be a repairman. You know, in our old house is a new house. We had it built for us. And all the systems were brand new. I didn't ever have to fix anything. That's not the case with a house that's like 30 years old almost. So I've been putting together a really interesting little toolkit that I'm excited to share with you. Just kind of a small kit that handles a wide variety of repairs that I find myself doing here. But it's actually fun. You know, you got to look back, and even though it's not perfect and nothing's just going smooth sailing, I'm enjoying it. This is great. And I tell you, it is such a blessing to have a shop to work in. Right now in my office, I got a little thermometer up there at 70 degrees Fahrenheit. And again, right now I'm just testing everything, so I've got all the valves open full blast. I just want to make sure that I'm getting all the air out of the system, and then once everything's good, then we'll switch it all back and I'll just rely on the thermostats. But it is so nice. Like I have pick up a load of lumber and I just back into the shop here, and I don't have to haul it in and out. You know, I can let it warm up and then unload it, dry the wood. And no, it's been fantastic, and I'm super excited. I hope you guys are doing really well. And I want to say thank you to my sponsor, Princess Auto, for sponsoring this video, for helping me get that air compressor. Oh, with the other air compressor, the 60 gallon, I was pricing out putting a new pump on the top of it, just a new air pump. But what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to build an offset smoker. I picked up a load of firewood from a place in Calgary, and this guy brings in wood for smoking, so like proper like mesquite or whatever types of wood they are, but instead of like a charcoal, like we always smoke with our charcoal green egg thing, I'm gonna build a big offset smoker. I think that'd be a really fun project video. And then in the summertime, man, like we've had quite a few of our friends out here, and I'll be able to put on like a couple briskets, and we can have like 40 or 50 people out here. Beautiful yard that we've got like a big zip line, trampoline, you name it. There's basketball. There's so much potential, and even though it's hard, I will admit, there's a lot of times, and I've said it before, is that I don't know if we should have moved here, but most like 95% of every day, I'm like, this is really fantastic. So we're plugging along, we're making progress, we're learning, and we are overcoming these obstacles. I hope your November has been a little bit better than mine, and here's to December and the new year. And yeah, I'm really going to try and get some more stuff out, you know. I think too, going kind of like deep thinking about YouTube, is it's very easy on YouTube to get pigeonholed into a little niche. And that for my channel was knife making. and I've enjoyed everything I've shared with knife making. I've enjoyed being brought into a community, and the feedback that I get. So many people, you know, I've been able to help them just sharing stuff that I'm learning, and I'm gonna broaden that stuff out. You know, my knife making hasn't changed since anything I've showed in my videos, with the exception of one crazy jig that I'm using right now. And when I've got that thing dialed in, I'll share it with you guys, because it has been an absolute game changer. And nothing like it is on the market. I've never seen anybody do anything like this, and it's one of these things that I thought about for about 3 years. And one day it just clicked, and I was like, it is so simple, so easy, and it's phenomenal. So that'll be coming out, as well as just all kinds of other fun stuff. But whew, I feel kind of bad that I haven't been uploading too much lately, and I want to let you know why. Like I said, I had about 3 videos that I was planning on doing. And if it weren't for the fact that I've given up days of my life trying to get heat, either in the house or in the shop, those videos would have been out. But sometimes life throws the old curveball, and you just got to roll with it. So that's what we're doing. We're plugging along, and we're having fun. I hope you guys are doing really well, and I thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your support, your continued support. And I've really realized recently, you know, that expression is better to have like 100 true fans than 1,000 followers. And I'm really beginning to realize that, is that sometimes when certain videos take off, you kind of focus on that. And then if I do something that's not knife making, I'll get comments like, oh, I want to see you make knives. And it's very easy to let your mind kind of go that route. But ultimately, if this channel, if doing YouTube isn't really just stuff that I want, the videos aren't going to do well. I'm not going to continue doing them. And I think it'll come across. So I'm going to start sharing the things that I'm passionate about. There's crossover. I mean, if you like making knives, you may also like motorcycles. The one thing I will not share on this channel, and there may be some crossover, but I don't think many of you guys want to know about bicycles. And so that second channel, Jeremy Gertz, that's going to be pretty much bicycling content. And this one, I'm going to focus more on sharing all kinds of things with regard to making, trying to become more self-sufficient, a little tiny homestead that we're setting up here again, and I'm really excited about it. I'm excited what the future holds for us, and I hope you are too. Anyways, we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Cheers.